No, well, I've not been at one of those vigils. I've been at them repeatedly throughout the years. And the first time that I ever went to one of the vigils, which was not that one, but was in Richmond or that area, and on that occasion, a baby who was being taken into the abortion centre to be killed, I later held that baby in my arms. Now, that would never have happened if Stella Creasy, I think, was just telling you that, oh, well, why would they be doing that there? Well, if I did it a week later, the baby wouldn't be there. They'd be dead.
But Ed, it's the decision of the woman about whether or not she gets to have an abortion, isn't it? It's not your call.
Well, I'm not making an issue with you about that. I'm simply responding to the point that Stella Creasy made to you about why are they doing it there at that moment.
You can see why, Ed.
That was the moment to do it, Tom. No other moment would apply.
You can see why it would be distressing and feel like harassment for a woman to be, in some cases, shouted at or protested by people as they walked into an abortion centre. You can see how that would be quite distressing, hence why the law has gone into place.
Have you ever seen that, Tom?
What do you mean?
What you just described, women being shouted at.
I've seen the clips of some of the protests from outside centres. I think there was, in Ealing in particular, it used to be quite bad.
Well, I've never seen it. And I was at Ealing repeatedly. And I can tell you that the police at Ealing gave a statement at the time when all this was going through. The police gave a statement to the local council stating that throughout the duration of the 24-year duration that the vigil had taken place, the police had never had any problems with it at all. Now, you've never mentioned that. You know, the lady that your reporter was speaking to had said various things.
So your suggestion is what, Ed? That the people saying that they feel harassed and distressed are making it up? Lying?
Yes.
They're lying?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So the women who say this was distressing and I felt like I was being harassed are making it up?
Well, I can show you videos of the kinds of things that you're talking about, all the noise and the shouting and playing music and all of that, was never done by any of the people in the vigils. Those were done by that lady who was on your was yellow white
but
or whatever.
You see, Ed, in the same way that it is not your decision about what someone does with their body, it is also not your decision about how they feel about something.
I didn't say that it was.
Right, so you understand that the harassment is not really yours necessarily to assume on the behalf of the person who feels that harassment.
No, I can say to you what I've seen with my own eyes throughout the protracted period. So, whatever you're being given by information, the people that you're just saying about all the shouting and whatever, they were the people making the shouting.
Right, Ed.
They were you can see that on video, Tom. You can actually see the video of those very people causing the shouting. Those were the ones who were complaining about the vigil that was there, was silent. Silent Ed. People praying.
Ed.
Yeah.
Wait there.
Yeah.
Nicky's in Crystal Palace. Nicky.
Oh, hello. Is that Tom Swarbrick?
It is.
Speaking?
It is, Nicky. Hello.
Hello, I've never spoken to you before, but I'm actually really angry that I've just heard your previous caller.
Well, he's on with you now, Nicky, so you can speak to Ed directly if you like.
Ed.
Yeah, good afternoon, Nicky.
Hello. You said that a woman, you prayed for somebody's a baby. You said it was a baby that she went in there to have a term. You didn't use the word termination, but it wasn't a baby. It would have been a fetus. It's not a baby. Tom,
do you know?
And Tom, you've let this go by as though this woman has gone in there, she's had a newborn baby and she's about to murder her baby. That's not the case.
Well,
the
Nicky,
person went in there for a termination, did they not?
Well, Nicky, can you hear me? Nicky?
I can hear you, yes.
Right. The word fetus is a Latin word which means baby.
The baby, it was not a baby. In the legal definition of the term, it is not a baby.
Correct.
Well,
it's a
I
fetus.
know that.
It is an unborn child. An unborn child.
An unborn child, as you quite rightly said. Yes, an unborn child. And I held that same unborn child in my arms when he was born.
Hang on. Whoa. I'm going to cut across it. The child cannot be both unborn and born simultaneously. So, Ed, you held in your arms.
I didn't say that, Tom. You're not listening.
You did. You said you held the unborn born child.
No, I said no, Tom. You're not listening. Shall I say it again for you?
You can, but you'll get it right this time.
The child that Nicky just described as being an unborn child was being taken into the abortion centre, and that lady decided not to go in there after all.
Right.
She later gave birth to that baby.
Yes, we all understand this process.
And I then held that same baby in my arms.
Yes.
The one who was saved from being taken into.
But Ed, the difference is you've described the fetus in the woman's body as a baby. It isn't. As Nicky says, it's a fetus. There is a legal definition, a determination at what point you can have an abortion. And then what you have held in your arms is a child that's been born.
Tom, then was it a bambino or was it a chavvy? They're all words for the same thing.
No, again,
Can I ask a question?
Go on, Nicky.
What business is it of yours, Ed? Ed, what business is it of yours that a woman has an abortion? It's nothing to do with you. You do not know the woman's circumstances. You don't know if it's rape. You don't know if it's as a result of incest, or there's some fetal abnormality, or there's something that might endanger the woman. What the hell business is it of yours? Why are you not standing outside cancer clinics for people that have smoked and have got cancer, or people who... Why is it not about men's health? Why are you interfering and making it your business, putting your nose in women's business? Mind your own business. If you want to pray at home. Pray at home.
Because as far as I'm aware...
What has it got to do with you?
Well, I'm trying to answer you, Nicky, but you keep shouting over me. What's the matter with you?
No, but what has it got to do with you, what a woman does?
I'm trying to answer you, Nicky, but you won't allow me to. You won't allow me to answer you.
What is it with you, Ed, and shouting at women? Right, go on.
Tom, talk sense, will you, for goodness sake. Let me answer the question. The reason why, Nicky, is because, to the best of my knowledge, babies are not being murdered at cancer centres, but they are being murdered at abortion centres.
That word baby again.
It's not a baby. It is not a baby. It is a fetus.
Well, whatever. Is it a bambino?
It is not a human. It's not as though you're taking in a newborn baby to be murdered.
Why don't you like the word, Nicky?
Because it's not the accurate description.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It's not a legal description of what's happening. There is a.
Of course it is. Of course it is. The what you're referring to as a fetus, that's a Latin word. We speak English, don't we? Well, the translation of the Latin word fetus is baby. It's very simple. Very, very simple. But you have a problem with it, don't you?
Do you think, hang on a sec, do you think the term baby applies to the moment of conception?
Yes, absolutely.
So even that single clump of cells you would describe as a baby that you, could hold in your arms and act
How many clumps of cells are ever taken into abortion centres?
What do you mean?
Well, when we come into existence from the moment of conception, after 21 days...
Yeah, but you wouldn't describe that as a baby, would you?
After 21 days, we already have a heartbeat. So we're not just a clump of cells, are we?
But, Ed, you wouldn't describe that as a baby, would you?
What? Why wouldn't I? What else would I describe it as?
Because there is no way that life could exist outside of the womb.
Well... a baby who's born for 6 weeks still can't live outside of the womb unless they're looked after.
They've been born.
Yeah.
So they are outside the womb.
And exactly the same way they can't exist unless they're being looked after.
No, they can exist outside the womb because they've been born.
No. Well, they can exist inside the womb if they're left alone. Even better.
Yeah, but they couldn't exist outside. You couldn't have a born baby at 21 days old from the moment of conception, could you?
Yes, of course. If you leave it alone, it will go on to become 70 years of age.
The key word there is born, i.e. outside of the womb.
No, it doesn't matter whether you're inside or outside. You exist from the moment that you exist.
You don't, and you would say that there is no. Hang on, that you would say that there is no biological difference between the two states. From the moment that you are conceived to the moment you are born, there is no biological difference between the two.
Absolutely not. Once we exist, we continue to exist until our natural death at the age of maybe 100 or whatever.
I cannot for the life of me understand how you can argue yourself to a point where it is the same form of life from the moment of conception to the moment of death, and that the coming out of the womb bit, the being born bit, is a mere step on the journey.